Yeah, bonkers.
I mean, the thing is, like, people treat these people and these addicts like they're the absolute scum of the earth. But
Mm,
I have seen personally both sides of the fence for these people. I've seen them without drugs and I've seen them with drugs. And a lot of these people
mm,
come from really good families, like yourself and like I as well. I come from a good family, you know, and
mm,
I've not had a super rough upbringing or anything. Like, it seems like I have no excuse, but something happens and you get completely you put yourself, make the choices which put you in a situation where you're being completely controlled by something, and absolutely changes the complete architecture of your mind, doesn't it? Like, you as a soul don't have the hands on that steering wheel anymore at all. You know, you're just being
no.
taken along for a ride by the mind. You're completely dominated, and I've seen some really, really good people do some really, really terrible things with drugs, and
Mm.
it just goes to show how much of it's a sickness, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I class it as like I say, a disease, however you want to put it, because it does. It controls you. You are literally a pawn at the will of your disease, especially towards the end. And that's kind of where, the way you explained it was good, that you're a passenger. And that's kind of where I was at the start. Perhaps you do have a choice, but when it gets to that point where you're doing really, really, really horrible things, that you've got no control of it, and that's kind of where, if, the 12-step program comes in. You admit that, I couldn't control this. I was gone. I was yeah, like you say, a passenger, just at the will of the disease. Yeah,
More like a slave than a passenger. You
yeah,
know, you're
absolutely, a
talking about
slave.
that
Yeah,
shoplifting and stuff, and it's like,
yeah.
it's like you have to go and do that to feed your mind almost. It's like your mind wants
Hmm.
it. It's like, I don't want to do this, but my mind wants this,
No, you don't.
and I've got
That
no.
battle every day, to, like I said, I used to get in debt to force me to do it. I didn't want to do it. Do you think anybody, like, wants to harm their family? Do you think anybody wants to go do that sort of addiction can turn the nicest of people. There's so many people with really bad reputations, like seriously bad, like proper villains that I've met in recovery, that aren't that person. They were, like you say, a slave, a passenger to their disease, and they've done some really nasty things. But that's not them. Yeah, it takes people.